I just built a new chicken coop after having many issues with our previous ones. It took several days of hard work and some intense maneuvering, but we finally got it done. It wasn't easy and we ran into some problems along the way, but I think the chickens are going to love it. And I know we will too. We've been on this land for nearly 4 years. One of the first things we built when we started our homestead was a chicken coop.
The way we were building this run extension, we're gonna have to take this door off, which we didn't anticipate at first because we thought we would just be able to leave this door open. But since, of course, this was put together and built, and then we had the winter that we had, this is stuck. And we cannot get this off and open, even if we wanted to, which down the road we would have had to just to clean out the chicken coop. So we have no choice but to dig this back up, which of course I had laid down a hardware cloth all along the perimeter of this, as you can see. So I'm gonna have to take this off so that we can actually remove this and continue with our building.
We knew we wanted to get a small flock of chickens, so we didn't need anything big. So we found one at Roost and Root, put it together, and saw how small it actually was. We decided to add an additional run to give them more space. Building that took several days for us, considering that we were new to building and had no plans to go off of. But we got it done, and the chickens loved it.
A rat's nest in my hair.
I know.
And I'm just not feeling it now.
You just got done building the chicken run. Just 2 words. How do you feel?
Oh my God, relieved. So relieved. This took days to do when it shouldn't have, but so many issues that we ran into, but it's done. Woo! Chickens have like an amazing home now. Lots of space.
They quickly made themselves right at home. Only I started to notice that the size and height of this coop made it very difficult to clean. I was the only one that could fit into it, and even my 5'2" self had to crouch down and crawl inside to clean it out. And using any kind of rake or shovel in there was a challenge. It quickly became a chore that I dreaded to do. But I did, every week. And then I learned about deep litter composting. And so I started to do that method, scraping out the top layer of their waste, leaving most of it behind, and adding a fresh layer of hemp bedding. There was less to maintain with this method, which was nice for me, except that when it would rain a lot, the coop run would get a little damp and was more susceptible to mold. It was something I had to frequently watch out for. I was also concerned about mites, so I'd constantly sprinkle diatomaceous earth every week that I added a new layer of bedding. Keeping my chickens healthy and happy has always been my priority, which is why we also let them roam freely during the day so that they can forage and do what they do best. But ever since we lost a few hens to a fox, we've had to drop their forage time down to only a few hours during the day so that we can keep them protected. And that means more time in their pen and coop. Every year I get a few more baby chicks, so our flock has grown since the day we started to raise chickens.
Oh no.
It was definitely time to start looking at other options for a coop. But we didn't want to spend a lot of money, and we didn't want to go too cheap either. I wanted something that was built very well and would solve some of the issues we had had with our previous coops. So I found an Amish-made chicken coop from EarthEasy called Easy Fit. This thing is constructed so well and is super safe for our chickens. It's made in the US and has all the things we had been looking for in a coop. We got their 4x6 size, and when it arrived, I was very impressed. Everything was sturdy, heavy, and appeared to be of really good quality. The instructions said it would only take 2 to 3 hours to set up, so we got right to work. Only once we did, we quickly realized that their instructions were very, very limited, and it required a lot of stops along the way to decipher their steps and research more. As two people who had very little construction knowledge, the instructions assumed that everyone had. So it was frustrating, but little by little, we figured it out and got it done. Once we got the coop built, the next part was removing the old one so that we could move the new one in. It was our last day of sunshine before more rain was to come, so we pushed hard to get as much done as we could. After years of the old coop sitting in deep litter compost, the earth started to take it in. We had to dig around the exterior and cut the metal cloth from the coop that we put in to further protect it from predators trying to dig their way in. Then we had to disconnect the run from the coop. We thought this part would be easy, but remembered that when we constructed it, we had to improvise on the fly to securely fit and attach the run to the coop. So there were hidden screws that we couldn't as easily get to from the inside of the run. So we had to start taking apart the run, piece by piece.
Strange came by night. Bound away out of sight. To the path through the fields, pulled away. What was real? It was such a muted blow. You push so hard, move so slow. Landed there for a song. tall and strong. Tall and strong.
Once we got that done, most of the day had disappeared. So we had to leave the old coop for now and turn our focus on moving the new one in. The new coop weighs about 500 pounds and is on metal skids, making it easy to move with a tractor, but not by hand. So we had to call our neighbor since our tractor wasn't working at the time. She brought over her large tractor, and we attached it using metal tow chains. Very slowly, we started to move the coop. Getting it in the right position was a challenge because our chicken pen is on a slight slope. And though we got the coop moved into the pen, her large tractor and the limited space around it made it hard to navigate. We ultimately had to leave the coop toward the center of their pen, and will eventually work on leveling it out more, but at least it's there. Now we have to work on getting the chickens used to their new home. It was bittersweet seeing the old coop be taken apart piece by piece. It was one of the first things we built on this homestead, so it holds so much memory. I remember feeling so proud when the chickens laid their first eggs in it.
This is the Green Queen's egg.
And when we introduced a rooster for the first time to the flock.
Oh, yeah.
Many of the hens we have were the first chickens we got when we moved in. They were a day old, and this coop was the only home they've ever known. So removing it was just as much a shock to them, too.
Hi, honey. I know. Oh.
You live and you learn as you build a homestead, discovering more about yourself, the land, the animals in your care, and how it all works together. You create synergetic systems, and as your homestead grows and evolves, you learn what works and what no longer works. It keeps you on your toes and is always changing. I think that's one of the things I love most about this way of living. Every day is different.
You guys, get out! Get out! Get out!
New challenges, learning to work with the land, using your creativity to fix problems, figuring out what works and what doesn't. The work is never done. And eventually you realize it is never supposed to be done. Much like the natural world around us, every day it is growing, changing, moving through time, weather, the elements. It's not a fixed thing. And we are not a fixed thing. That's the beauty of it all. It's a process. A journey, a cycle, one that begins with new life as you birth it into the world and emerges every day as something new, turning into something you never thought was possible.